Hey everyone, this is Cosmic Donut 4, returning for a special video. This is the Super Blood Wolf Moon Lunar Eclipse, as the New York Times is saying not to call it, but anyways. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, throughout this video, you'll see the times at which I begin recording. The current time is 9:43. Now, this whole thing began at 9:36 p.m. today. The moon will begin to enter the Earth's outer shadow, also called the penumbra. Which, science. I love science, so this is right up my alley. So what's going to happen is darkness will begin to creep from the lower left portion of the moon. It's going to be hard to see on this camera because of the glare. And I can't really see much of anything with my own eyes quite yet, but it's still early. Now the next major event is going to happen at 10:34. When the moon will start to enter the Earth's inner shadow, the umbra. We'll return periodically, between checkpoints we'll call them, to see what's happening with the moon. So I'll see you guys in just a second actually. I've made some adjustments to the camera, so hopefully it's not so blinding bright now. Oh, and it seems that is indeed the case. You can even see the craters. Now again, we're looking for darkness in the lower left corner. It doesn't look like there's any big major difference. Not yet anyways. This kind of thing does take a little time. It really is exciting. This is a combination of a blood moon, a supermoon, and a lunar eclipse. Quite stellar. Haha, get it? Very punny. Every time I come outside and look up at the stars and the moon and the sky, it just makes me amazed at the world around us. I absolutely love science. It was always my best subject in school. I got the highest grades in science. I was the most involved in science class. I used to want to be a scientist, and I kind of still do. And we're so fortunate to be able to see this. Some places in the world you can't. And such clear skies and stars. It's a bit chilly, with temperatures expected to get down to the teens tonight. But as long as we're having fun. Let's readjust the tripod and take a little break, and be back in just a second. And we're back once again. A couple of other camera adjustments have hopefully turned this out. Will hopefully make it turn out better. Again, we're not really seeing too much, but that will hopefully change. at 10:34. When the moon will start to enter the umbra, the Earth's inner shadow. Because what happens during a lunar eclipse is the moon moves into the Earth's shadow. And in case you're wondering what our other checkpoints are tonight, based on the New York Times article, which is my reference source for this, 11:41 p.m., the moon will enter totality and turn completely red. And it will stay this way for an hour, and on 12:12 a.m. Monday, it will reach the darkest part of the Earth's shadow, appearing to be at its most coppery red. Then it will exit the umbral shadow at 12:44 a.m., and by 2:48 a.m. the moon will return to its usual brightness, and the eclipse will be completely over. Again, this is a rather rare event. I'm going to try to make it through the whole thing, but no promises. I'll at least be out here till midnight to see it at the darkest point. And I got wind blowing through the gaps in the tripod. Wonderful. So what we're looking for currently, though, is shadow in the lower left corner. And I can kind of see something, but I can't tell if that's a crater or if that's actually it happening. It's likely a crater. We'll see. So we'll keep this up, see what happens. Again, our next checkpoint is at 10:34, which we are coming up on. The current time is 10:19 of January 20th, 2019. I'm eventually going to have to go out in the street to get this. I've had to readjust every time you've checked in. So I'll be adjusting every time, and eventually I'll probably end up in the street. This kind of thing really does take time. You have to be patient and willing to stay up late. Luckily, you guys get the condensed version. Alright, we'll check back in at about 10:34 or so. Look, guys, it's happening. The lower left and kind of the bottom part of the moon is turning black. Let me see if I can recenter the moon. It's really not that easy. Whoop, sorry. Whoop, again. I don't have steady hands. And that's probably about where we started. Great. I got binoculars. Let's check this out. Oh, where's the... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's so neat. Oh, that's cool. This is going to be so cool, I just know it. For all my talk about loving science so much, I've never actually watched a lunar eclipse before. I can't believe it. I've done the solar eclipse before, the one in 2018. We didn't get totality here. I think it was in about 90% we got in Garner. Oh, I wish you could see out these binoculars. That looks so cool, but the camera's doing a pretty good job. If only this thing had time-lapse mode. That'd be awesome. So, it is past 10:34, so the moon will be entering the Earth's inner shadow, the umbra. So that's exciting. Man, I'm really excited for this. So again, our next little checkpoint should be relatively soon. Well, maybe not. 11:41 is when the moon will enter totality. But I'll jump back in well before that. See you guys in a bit. Or for you, just a second. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, a lot more of the moon has been covered. And while you can't really tell on the camera, there are very faint hints of red on the moon. And I haven't mentioned this before, so pardon me, but we are already a supermoon. Yeah, the supermoon has been here since the moon came up, I believe. Or was rising anyways. And a supermoon is basically the point in the moon's orbit when it is the closest at the Earth, making it appear bigger. Excuse me. So yeah, we are reaching full totality. It will be at 11:41. It's currently 11:18. Very close. Let me see if I can make a slight adjustment. There we go. Nah, that didn't really work. But there we go. In fact, it really, on the camera, looks like it's just a crescent moon, but I assure you it was a full moon. You would know, you just saw the previous clips. It's too bad you can't really see the redness yet on the camera. I hope that you'll be able to see it once we get to midnight, when we're supposed to be at the full maximum red, as I'm going to call it. Maximum red. And I was also reading more of that New York Times article I mentioned earlier. They said that the moon is going to be about 10,000 times more dim than it usually is. So that means we should be able to see the stars around the moon. That's pretty neat. Make one more quick. Oh, a bit much. Good enough. So, that's pretty cool. And I'll be back a couple of minutes before totality, and you will get to see that in video. So, I will see you in just 1 second. Alright, we've relocated to the back deck, and look at that. You can finally see the red on the camera. And we are just a minute away from totality. It's currently 11:40. And according to this article from the New York Times, totality will occur at 11:41. And For those of you scratching your heads wondering what the heck totality is, it is the point during a lunar eclipse in which the moon is completely engulfed in the Earth's shadow. And for a solar eclipse, it is the point where the moon completely covers the sun. That is really cool looking. Reminds me of the planet Mustafar from Star Wars, Episode 3. You can see just a little teeny sliver of the moon is still left, but it is 11:41 now, according to my phone, so we are in totality, which will last for about 1 hour. Our next checkpoint will be 12:44. Oh no, I'm sorry, 12:12 a.m. I'm ahead of myself. I'm just so excited. So yeah, 12:12. The moon will be at maximum red. And this is now the blood moon phase of our event tonight. A blood moon is when the light from the sun, right? The light from the sun is refracted through the Earth's atmosphere and then reflected onto the moon, making it appear red. Did I get that right?
Sounds right.
Even though you can still... Oh, let me fix that. Hold. I just want to get... We're a little off. There we go. This is not planned or scripted at all. It's just on-the-fly recording of the Super Wolf Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse, I think they're calling it. But yep, we are at the totality phase. Blood Moon. Here, let me look at it through the binoculars.
Yeah, you can definitely see the stars closer to the moon.
Oh yeah, I see that too. Again, even though we have reached totality, it still appears as though a small sliver of the moon is still lit up. You see that?
Yeah.
It's really weird looking. It doesn't look the same through the camera as it does in real life. But it's like the top part of the moon, with my own eyes, is like still lit. The bottom right side is red, and the bottom left side is still black.
Well, that's pretty close to what's in there.
Yeah, I know, but it's not as defined. I can see. (11:55 p.m.) We are very close to our next checkpoint of 12:12 a.m. Look at that. That is awesome. That little sliver of light I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much gone. Yep. We're in full blood moon phase now for sure. I've got me some hot chocolate because it's freezing cold out here. But yeah, I'll give you a few seconds just to admire this beauty. It's extremely rare. My whole family is going in and out of the house checking this out. Like I said earlier, we've relocated to the back deck, so the sliding glass door is much noisier than the front door. How about I reposition that real quick? Let's take a look here. And that's not really better. Oh, oh. There we go. That's better. As far as I know, I'm the only person out of my little railfan friends group who's doing this. I could be wrong. I haven't really talked to them about that yet, but as far as I know, as of the current time, I think I'm the only one doing this. Doesn't that remind anybody else of the planet Mustafar from Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? You know, the lava planet where Anakin and Obi-Wan had their big famous duel? I mean, that looks so much like it. I might even throw up a picture in the video somewhere for you to compare it to, because my gosh, through the camera it just reminds me so much of that planet. In fact, I might do that. I might try and get a picture up there. If I do manage to get one up, you'll see it now. You'll be seeing it now. If not, I'm sorry, I either had trouble or forgot. But I'll see you again shortly after our next checkpoint. Back in a sec. Good news, we've reached the next checkpoint. It is now at the maximum red, as I discussed earlier. And it's now Monday, January 21st, 2019. Current time is 12:14, but you're seeing that on your screen in the upper left corner. It is definitely all red now. There's really not any of that light part left. And that's even more so emphasized in the camera, which I'm surprised at how well it's doing.
It's very dim.
Had a hard time finding it. I had to take in the camera to charge it, and we had a hard time finding the moon coming back out here. Yep, this is maximum red. Does it look coppery? Copper red?
Yeah, I guess you could see it.
That's what the New York Times article said it was going to look like, and I guess it pretty much does look like that. Oh no.
A couple of tree branches.
Yep, we got a couple of tree branches. It's windy. I don't think we'd be able to see the moon from the front yard anymore, though.
It's alright.
Oh, that is so creepy. That tree branch looks like a giant hand in front of the blood red moon.
Well, as the moon gets brighter and brighter, the tree branch isn't going to matter.
In fact, we kind of need to move the camera some a little bit. There we go. That is creepy looking. Here, look at that.
I see that.
That only adds to the experience, honestly. I'm still not entirely sure if I'm going to be covering the whole thing, but I'm at the very least going to be going till 1 o'clock. I'm not stopping any earlier than 1 a.m., that's for sure.
The stars are very bright. The moon being so dim.
I know, we rely on the moon for light at night. Well, It's 12:17 now. We've been going for 14, 15, that's something like, what, 4 minutes? Something like that. So, I guess I'll see you in a little bit. And yeah, cut to that. Alright. 12:31 a.m. We're looking at a smidge less red now.
A little brighter, maybe.
Our next checkpoint is 12:44, when the moon will begin to brighten, and it will exit the umbral shadow.
Already looks a little brighter than me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Just a little.
And then after that checkpoint, we have 2:48 a.m. The moon will return to its usual brightness, and the eclipse will be completely over. So, I have told the viewers why it is a supermoon and what that means. I've also explained a blood moon and a lunar eclipse. But they're calling this thing the super wolf blood moon lunar eclipse. And I am yet to describe or explain what a wolf moon is. And it couldn't be more simple, honestly. It's what the Native Americans call the full moon of January. I mean, that's really it. There's a whole backstory on that New York Times article that I was reading and have been referring to throughout this video. But, I mean, that's the basic explanation. Why complicate things? I might even put the link of that article in the video description in case you wanted to read it. There's more details and stuff, but I'm good with just this. I'll need to move it a little bit again. There we go. Yep, sadly, now that we have reached totality and maximum red, the moon will start to go back to normal. And I think I'm pretty likely to film the whole event. I've thought it over, and you know, I've gone this far. Why stop? Why stop now? But again, as I said earlier, I'm at very least going to go till 1 a.m. And also, now that we have reached maximum red and totality, I tried to do frequent updates during that period, but now that that period is coming to an end, at about 12:44 a.m. it'll come to an end. I'm probably going to do less frequent updates, but don't worry, I'll still get the major parts of the transition back to normal moon, normal full moon. Maybe next time I'll talk about the full moon phase. So, I will see you again at our next checkpoint, which, as I stated earlier, will be at 12:44 a.m. So, I will see you then. Hey guys, it's 12:46 now, and sorry about the tree branches, but I can't really help it. But you can tell that the moon is getting lighter. If you look in the upper left around that area, it is pretty easy to tell that the moon is getting lighter, yeah. So, I was going to briefly go over the phases of the moon. This is from Wikipedia. So a new moon is first, and then we have a waxing crescent. The first quarter, the waxing gibbous, and then we have this kind of moon, the full moon, a completely illuminated disk, which is what we have here, followed by the waning gibbous, the third quarter, and then the waning crescent. If you want to see this for yourself, just simply put lunar phase into Wikipedia, and there's a section called Phases of the Moon, and a nice handy little chart that gives you all kind of information. You won't even know what to do with it. It's that much. But yeah, the full moon is like right in the middle. Not quite. There are 4 phases before and 3 after, but it's pretty much in the middle. As I stated earlier, updates and recording will be a little less frequent than before, simply because this is just the end of the event. This is pretty much in reverse what we experienced up until totality. But I'll still be here. I have officially decided to stay and record the whole event up until the 2:48, and my final video entry will be at 3 a.m. where I'll sign off. So again, the tree branches kind of get in the way, but looking at it with my own eyes and through the camera, you can tell indeed the redness has gone down some, and it is creepy out here at night by myself. But yeah, we're on the way to a normal moon again. How exciting. See you guys in a sec. Back once again. And take a look at that moon. That looks really cool. I don't know how many times I've said that throughout this entire thing, but I really am excited about this. This is definitely one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because, I mean, let's recap. First, the moon, it was a super moon, and it was also a wolf moon. And it has been both of those this entire time. But then, it became a lunar eclipse, then a blood moon. I mean, that's 4 different things happening to this moon in one night. I mean, wow. I got some binoculars this time. I don't need them every time, but sometimes it's nice to take a little look up in the sky. I'll have to charge my camera up a little bit more after this. It could just be the cold messing with the sensor, but I'm not taking any chances. Again, these updates are going to be less frequent, and probably shorter too, because this is really just the reverse of what we've been having earlier. So I will see you guys in a second, for you anyways. The tree branches continue to persist, but you can still see the moon. It is, I want to say almost halfway back to normal. 1:20 a.m. We're getting there. Again, the tree branches are kind of obscuring it, but it is definitely becoming a full moon once again. And we have another small problem though. See, I'm not going back out into my front yard. It's too dark and it's too much trouble. It's more convenient out here on the back deck. But the moon is getting higher up in the sky and moving to the right, so I may not be able to get the entire event. If the moon is gone from view of the back deck, I'm afraid we're done. But that's going to be it for this update. I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, I'm back once again. And as you can clearly see, any and all red from the moon is now gone. We are completely back to normal moon. And look at that. Remember at the beginning of this whole thing, when you could see that the darkness was overtaking the moon from the lower left side? The darkness is now leaving the moon from the lower right side. That's pretty cool. I really want... There we go. So yeah, as stated earlier, I'm not really sure how many more of these I'm going to get. Because I'm a little worried that I might lose the moon. But I'm going to get as many as I can. We are very close to our final checkpoint of the event. The end of the event, in fact. Which is at 2:48 a.m. It's currently 1:45. I really hope we could at least get to then. But I don't know. You'll know better than me because you'll be seeing the video. Of course, I'll know before I upload the video, but we'll see what happens. But I'm really glad I got to witness this from the beginning to almost the end. And who knows, maybe I will get to the end after all. I'm going to reread this final part from the New York Times article I've been using. As it begins to exit the umbral shadow at 12:44 a.m., the moon will start to brighten, as it has already done. By 2:48 a.m., the moon will return to its usual brightness, and the eclipse will be completely over. I also just want to mention real quick that all of the times that you are seeing are Eastern Standard Time, because I live in the state of North Carolina in the town of Garner, as I'm sure many of you know from looking at my videos. But we are almost to the end, and hey, look at that, the darkness has almost completely left the moon. I'll try to position the tripod as best as I can for maybe one or two final check-ins. So we'll see what happens. But this will most certainly not be the last update. Definitely not. Do you see what I see? The moon is like 99.9% back to normal. It's really, really hard to see on the camera, but in real life, there's just an ever so teeny tiny sliver still blackened out. Oh, much brightness through the binoculars, but yet, I just looked and there is indeed a teeny tiny sliver left of black. But the good news is, the sky is much more lighter now. Like, much more. It's nowhere near as dark as it has been the past couple hours. Despite my earlier statement that I would be here till 3, I am actually going to have to retract that. I'm getting very sleepy, and the moon is almost back to normal. So I think I'm going to do one more update at 2:45 and call it done. Before I end this little update, I'm going to first readjust the camera, and then I'm going to tell you that I have spoken with my other railfan friends, and so far I know of one of them who is uploading video of tonight's event, and that's my friend Jake. You can find a link to his channel in the description. My friend Noah might be uploading. It could be a while. I don't know that for sure. but I'll put a link to his channel in the description too, just in case he does. I won't be able to find out whether he is or not tonight, but Jake says he is, so please direct your attention towards the description after my video's over, of course, and head over to his channel and keep an eye out for his video. I'll see you guys at 2:45. Well guys, this is it. This is the end of the Super Wolf Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse of 2019. And I am very happy that I got to experience this. I was a few minutes late. The whole event started about what am I saying? I'm so sleepy right now, I can't think. 9:36 p.m. yesterday. Oh, hold on. I wanted to get one last look through the binoculars, but first I gotta reposition the camera again. Almost. There. One last look at our glorious natural satellite, aka the moon. Ooh, that's bright. The one last thing I want to explain is how, of course, the moon is so bright. Perfect segue, huh? So basically what happens is the sun light hits the moon, and the light reflects down to Earth. That is how and why the moon is so bright, even brighter through the binoculars. Of course, the major difference being you can look directly at the moon. But according to my phone, it is 2:48 a.m. Monday, January 21st, 2019, which means this event is officially over. So, I guess that's going to be that then. Thank you for watching. I know you're probably tired of hearing my voice. So, and I'm tired of hearing it too, actually. I've been talking so much. But, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'm so glad I got to witness this. I would really like to know how your views turned out, so maybe you wouldn't mind dropping a comment in this video and telling me if you got to see it, what you thought of it, maybe if you've even seen any lunar or solar eclipses in the past, blood moons, supermoons, that kind of thing. I'm genuinely intrigued to know. So, I want to say thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. CD4 out.